Hey everyone, welcome back to the Wood and Metal Shop. In my previous video, I made a 14-inch platter out of some scrap wood. Well, when I was cutting down that piece to fit it on the lathe, I ended up with a bunch of corners. It made me think, well, what do I do with the corners? Do I throw them out or do I add them to my scrap wood bin? Well, I decided to hold on to them and I'm actually going to make something out of them. So stick around and I'll show you what I'm going to do with them. Also, I'll post a link just up above so you can see the video on the platter. And also, now's a good time to hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and all my social media links are posted down below. So go check them out because I always post there on my future projects. Also, I've been getting a few stickers in the mail, and if you want to participate in a sticker swap, just follow me on Instagram or on Facebook, send me a message there and I'll tell you how you can send me a sticker. So let's get on with this project. I have all my corners here and now the challenge is going to be, how do I glue this all together? I thought of gluing it like this, glue a piece on to a straight piece, add this in here, cut it off, glue another piece on here, take this piece and put it over here and continue on the gluing. But I might get it out of alignment, so what I'm actually going to do is notch the two pieces and form an X and then glue it all in one shot. Okay, those two pieces fit together pretty good, so all I'm going to do now is glue these in and clamp them together. For this one, I cut a little bit of the ends off so the clamp would hold on. The other clamps were a little awkward in trying to hold them into place. Okay, I'm going to let that sit for about another 15-20 minutes and move on to the next one. I let the glue set up on this overnight and I found the approximate center by going off the inside curve. So center is roughly about here, and all I'm going to do is cut off the tips and just throw it on the lathe. Now this side didn't exactly turn out too well or glue up too well. There's a bit of a gap there, but this is going to be the front, and I'm going to turn it just for the hell of it. You know, it's nothing spectacular. It's just an experiment just to use up the corners and do something creative, so I'm going to do it anyways. So I'm going to take this over to the bandsaw and I'm just going to cut off the tips. I mounted this on the worm screw on the chuck, and I made this just a little bit more round before I put it on the lathe. Those tips were sticking out a little bit too far for my comfort, so all I'm going to do now is make it round and then shape the bottom and put a mortise on and flip it around. Okay, before I go any farther, there's a part right here where it didn't line up properly, so I'm going to fill that in with some epoxy, 5-minute epoxy, and let that set up. Alright, well, I'm not really going for any specific shape, so I think that's about good for this. Just kind of making it into a bowl, I think. And I'm going to sand this, flip it around, but I'm not going to bore you with sanding. I'll sand it to 400 grit, put some shine juice on it, turn it around, and shape the other side. Alright, I sanded that back to 600 grit, and I'm going to put a little bit of shine juice on it. That stuff is pretty cool. I have this flipped around on the jaws, and I'm actually going to change the profile of this right here. I really don't like it. So I'm going to do that before I hollow out the center. Now I'm going to have to be careful here because this little area right here, when this was part of the bigger block of wood for that platter, I actually broke a screw off in here and I had to dig it out and gouge this all out. So I'm going to take light passes until that's all cleared off. This is basically what I want for a shape in here, so I'm just going to round it over a little bit more, and then I think I'm going to make a lip somewhere right around here and start hollowing out the inside. I'm going to turn this down very little because there's a couple of gouges right here, and I think I'm pretty much done on the inside. That looks pretty good. I'll just have to scrape right in here a little bit. I think I can do that with the bowl gouge and clean that up. That is pretty good. All I have to do with that on the inside is sand it. Now I'm just going to clean up the outside. Alright, I'm going to sand this, and like I said before, I'm not going to bore you with that. Sand that up to 600 grit. And I'm actually going to make a lid for this. And again, I've sanded this to 600 grit, and it took a lot of sanding because this is mostly end grains, so it just took a long time. And I've got a few minor scratches in here that are really hard to get out, but the shine juice or a clear coat will actually probably cover all that up. Okay, I'm going to let that sit and cure for a while and then put a few more coats on it. Or you can actually put, I another clear coat of like lacquer or polyurethane on top of this once it's all dried and cured. So you can, or even straight beeswax or anything else that you'd like to put on there. Well, this turned out pretty good. I really like how the oak is offset that I used to glue the corners together with. It adds a nice little detail and contrast to the bowl. Plus, the area where I filled in with some epoxy, you can hardly even tell that it's there. So it turned out really good. I'm quite impressed with it. It measures about 4 3/4 inches wide and about 1 3/4 inches high, and I did not make the lid for it yet. I didn't want to drag the video on and make it too long, and the video was more about using up the scrap wood from the previous project. So that'll be part 2 in finishing the lid on this. So with all that being said, you know what to do. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell. Also, if you like this video, leave me a thumbs up. Also, leave me a comment or a question. That will really help out my channel. And of course, all my social media links, and if you want to send me a sticker, just send me a message. So, until the next time, take care.